everyone, and welcome to Luminar Coffee Break. I'm Angela Andrieux, and today I'm going to show you how to add a warm summer glow to your photographs. Sometimes when you're out on holiday or you're just out exploring the area around you, you might be out on an overcast day, even a warm day, and you want to get that warm summer glow, but when it's overcast, the sunlight filtering through the clouds actually has kind of a cool blue hue to it, and you want to warm it up and kind of give that impression of a warm summer day, perhaps like you imagined those summer photos to look. So I'm going to show you today how to do that in Luminar and bring that warm summer glow to your photographs. Let me switch my screen and we'll jump right in. So on the screen, this is the after photo, the one we'll be working on today. And let me go ahead and just scroll back and forth here. So there's the before and the after. And you can see how it just warms up the photo and makes it so much more, I don't know, you can just feel their love a little bit more through that warmer image. So let me right click on the image, go to adjustments and revert this to the original. And I'll show you exactly how I did it. Now I'm going to click off the side-by-side view and we'll just work on the image as it is. Now, first things first, I do want to crop this in. I feel like there's a little bit of too much negative space around it. So I'm going to go to Composition AI and let's see what the Composition AI tool recommends. That's a pretty good crop, but I think I'm going to adjust it a little bit and maybe pull it in even a little bit tighter than what was recommended. I think right about there looks really nice. I'll hit return on my keyboard to go ahead and commit that crop. And I just want to take a moment to say hello to Jerry, German, Harry. So glad you guys are all here to join me today. Jerry is guessing that we'll be addressing white balance. Sort of. We'll definitely be taking a look at that there. And let's see here. He's saying you wouldn't trust this leaf here, that maybe it's going to strangle him. I don't know. Now that you say that, I am a little bit wary. All right. So first things first, let's begin with Enhance AI. Just to balance out the exposure a little bit, you'll see that's waking up some of those shadows. And I think that looks pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our light tool. When we have an image that is a little too warm, that the color balance, the white balance is a little off, the first place we usually think to look is with our white balance and our temperature and tint sliders. And we could certainly move this up to increase that warmth, but I want to show you another option today. So I'm going to double click on that handle to reset it, and I'm going to scroll down to color harmony down here in the professional section. I really love the split color warmth because that allows us to target our warm tones and our cool tones separately. So in this image, the skin tones are very warm, but the background, the foliage is very cool. And so I definitely want to add a lot of warmth to those skin tones, and I can do that separately with this warm slider. And then with this cool slider, I do like the blues and such that we have going on here, but I don't want to warm them up to quite the extent as I did with the warm tone. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit less. And you can see that made such a beautiful difference to this image. Let me go ahead and show you the before and the after. And that's just with our color harmony tool using the split color warmth. Let's see. Taking a look here at the quotes. Hello, Russ. Hello, Pat. Good to see you guys. Pat is also suggesting the landscape tool, which that is another good option that we could use. Here under landscape, we have our golden hour, and that also applies warmth to the entire image. Now, the reason I chose to go with color harmony is because we can target those cool and warm tones separately, and I think it works so beautifully for this image. Golden hour and white balance target every pixel, so I feel like it's a little bit heavy-handed for something like this where there's still a lot of beauty in these cool tones. We just really wanted to warm up the light that's hitting our subjects. Now to take this one step further, I'm going to go down to our glow tool and we're going to add a nice warm glow to this image. I'm going to choose our Orton Effect Soft and let's pull that amount slider up a pretty generous amount. I really like what's going on here. I think that's a really nice effect, but it pulled away a little bit from some of our warmth. So I'm going to go into the advanced settings and here we can warm up the glow specifically. So I'm going to warm up that glow a little bit more. Right now I feel like the overall effect here is over the top. So if I turn it off, back on, it's a little bit strong. So now I'll pull back on the amount slider and right about there looks beautiful. So we can turn that off, back on. I think that does really great things for the image. All right, so the final thing that I want to do here is scroll back up to our vignette tool and we're going to add a nice big soft vignette to really draw us into our subjects. I'll begin by pulling the amount slider all the way down to -100, and I'm going to pull that size a little bit smaller. We'll click on choose subject, and I'm going to move this center of the vignette up just a little bit so their faces are right there in the center. And now we'll go into advanced settings. We'll pull that feather up nice and high so it's a very soft, big vignette. And maybe add even just a touch of inner light, not too much because I don't want to make their skin tones too bright. And let's click off of choose subject, and I'll grab the amount slider and back that off to a point that it looks natural. And I think right about there is just perfect. So let me turn this off and back on, and you can see how that just subtly draws your eye into the center of the photo. I think that's really beautiful. And then we can take a look at our overall before and after. Now let me take a look here at the comments. Looks like you guys are enjoying the effect, which is great. I'm glad you guys like it. Now, when I did this particular episode for our insiders community, so if you go to insiders.skylum.com and join that particular community, anyone who owns Luminar AI can join. I did get some good feedback from our members there on what they liked in this image and what could be improved. So one of the things that was mentioned there was to pull back a little bit on the highlights. They thought that the highlights here on the face and on the neck were a little bit too bright. So if that's the case, we can always go to the light tool and just ever so slightly pull back on those highlights, and it tones down those bright spots. The other comment we got was that the changes that we made this gentleman's shirt really, really red. And because it's so bright, it is kind of something that draws your eye in the image, whereas the center of the image, what's really the focus, is what's going on right here in the center. So let me show you the before and the after. And you can see that the original, the red shirt, was really quite muted. So to fix that, I'm going to go down to our color tool and into HSL. I'm going to go into our, let's see here, go into the saturation for this. And I'm just going to back off the saturation of the red a little bit. I don't want to tone it down too much. I don't want to make it look too muted. I just don't want it to be the center of attention. So we can turn that off, back on again. And I think that makes the image even more compelling. So I want to say thank you to my insiders for giving me those couple of great pieces of feedback. I think it improved the image. And again, let's take a look at the overall before and the after. It does make a very cinematic look. I agree with one of those comments there, and it warms it up and gives it that warm summer glow. So even though the image was probably captured on an overcast day, maybe a little cloudy, a little gloomy, we can bring in that warmth, show their relationship, show their love, and also make it seem like maybe it's a little bit of a summer day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it, make sure you give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. That's always great to see, and our producers love to see that as well. If you have any comments or questions, make sure you put those in the comments below. I do go through those and take a look and try to get everything answered. So let me know if there's anything that you want to learn about or any ideas you have for this image or any of the other images that I've worked on in other episodes. Your feedback is important to me. So with that, I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys at the next coffee break. Bye, everyone.